can do the same nationally. I think that matters. I think that experience of winning and knowing how to build that coalition matters, and that is the argument I'm going to keep.
But there seems to be a subtext in the phrase, we can't screw this up.
I also think that we have to have a platform that is big and bold, because there is not a monopoly on big ideas, but that brings people with us. And that is why, from the beginning, I'm the only one on the stage that did not get on, member of Congress, did not get on that bill that would have kicked 149 million people off their health care in just 4 years.
Okay, so I'm going to get to health insurance in a second. First, I want to ask about one of your competitors in the so-called moderate lane that you just described, Pete Buttigieg. He talked in the last debate about suggesting that anti-LGBTQ discrimination helps him understand racism. Let's listen.
While I do not have the experience of ever having been discriminated against because of the color of my skin, I do have the experience of sometimes feeling like a stranger in my own country, turning on the news and seeing my own rights come up for debate.
So I talked to the mayor afterwards. He told me that being black in America is by no means the same or equivalent, or in some ways even comparable to the experience of being gay. But Kamala Harris didn't see it that way. She said his comment was misguided, not productive, and a bit naive. What do you think?
I don't think it's equivalent, but at the same time, he has the right to make what arguments he wants to make. I think what's key here is that, yes, I have not had that experience of going into a maternity room and saying to a doctor, my hands are swollen, and the doctor doesn't listen, and then you lose your baby. I have not had that experience of being making so much less than white people do, which so many of African Americans have that experience every single day. But what I do know is the answer. I do know the answer is economic justice and making sure we give opportunity to more people of color, and we give them the opportunity to go into those jobs that are so high paying, like tech jobs. The second thing I know is no one is going to get their rights if we shut them out from voting, which is why I have been a leader on voting rights from the very beginning. And that's why I emphasize that in the debate. It's why I did an event on that in Atlanta. And it's what I talked about when I was in South Carolina the last 2 days.
I said I would get to healthcare. Just really briefly, your plan is not an automatic Medicare for all, like you said, but it allows people to buy into a public option. It's similar to Vice President Biden's plan. He says his plan would cover 97% of Americans, which means 10 million Americans would still be left without insurance. Yes or no, would your plan also leave millions of Americans with no health insurance?
What my plan would do is cover millions more Americans than where we are right now. And we have to start somewhere. And the other thing that I think gets lost in that argument is that it would make healthcare more affordable for everyone. Because when you have a non-profit public option, it brings down premiums
but some people,
for everyone.
Millions of people would not have insurance.
Immediately, not everyone would be covered, but they would have a much better ability to buy in and to get insurance and to get covered that they don't have now. I can't force everyone to be covered, but it would give them a much bigger option. And in addition to that, we must take on the pharmaceutical prices. Something that has gotten lost in this debate, which I don't really think is real, Dana. I don't think it's real because you've got major leaders in our own party that have problems for Medicare for all. But what is real is people need more help with mental health care, long-term care insurance, taking on Alzheimer's, and taking on pharma prices. Those are the things we should be focusing on the debate.
Senator Amy Klobuchar, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dana.
Appreciate it.
To be on.
And my next guest worked on the past 2 presidential impeachments, and now she'll consider the case against President Trump. I'll ask her how it compares next. And